How would you feel to know that you may not have made it into this world? What if your mother had chosen to end your life in the womb because she just wasn't ready to have a child? Many young teens are getting pregnant and having to make the decision of whether or not to keep the baby. 1.21 million abortions occur each year in the United States, according to Abortion Facts. What if those children would have lived? One of those children could have figured out the cure for cancer, for AIDS, for other diseases, or could have been the future president of the United States. One of those young mothers out there could be someone you know. Today, I would like to first talk about what abortion is, whether abortion is right or wrong, and later the other options there are besides abortions that save the babies' lives. I'll begin by telling you about abortion. According to the British Pregnancy Advisory Service, abortion is when the pregnancy is ended so that it does not result in birth of the child, also known as the termination of the pregnancy. There are two different types of abortions that take place. They are in form of a pill before 9 weeks and a pill after 9 weeks. There's also a surgical procedure that can be done by a vacuum that is done from conception to 15 weeks and dilation from 15 weeks to 24 weeks. Abortion Facts tells us that abortion is also more dangerous than childbirth. Not only does abortion kill an innocent human in the womb, but this proves that morbidity and mortality rates of legal abortion are several times higher than carrying the baby full term. I recently had a couple that are friends of mine have a premature baby born at 24 weeks of gestation. Observing the infant in the hospital put an image into my head of what a baby would look like if an abortion had taken place at 24 weeks. I can't imagine aborting a child that big and small at that age. This baby is alive and is a human and had been since the moment he was conceived. I'm sure that you can see clearly what abortion is, but is it right or is it wrong? And how do we know? The Bible tells us in Exodus 20:13, the Lord has said, "You shall not murder." Exodus 21:22 also tells us the life that is growing within the mother is a child, a baby. The Bible looks at life in the womb as a child. Many question whether or not the child in the womb is really a baby because of the heartbeat. But according to Maternity and Women's Health Care, at the end of the 3rd week, the primitive heartbeat, the heart begins to beat and circulate the blood through the embryo. This is also the time when the female does not usually know she is pregnant. By the time she finds out she is pregnant, the heartbeat has already begun. People often think that killing the fetus early on in the pregnancy is okay because it's not fully developed. As the Maternity and Women's Health Care stated earlier, by day 21, the fetus has a heartbeat, and the moment the fetus is conceived, the fetus has DNA, which means it's alive. The Christian Apologetics and Research Ministry tells us that even a one-celled creature is alive, therefore so is a one-celled fetus inside the womb. To abort a life, which is human in nature, is to kill a human. This is wrong in society and with what the Bible tells us. Another item that women who have abortions think about is the pain they will be going through if they carry the infant to full term. Also, the emotional pain that comes with not being able to support the infant. Many women think that this is because having an abortion will lessen the pain, whether physical or emotional pain, on themselves and the baby. But Abortion Facts tells us that week 8 on up, the baby feels real physical pain during the abortion. The fetus can feel the ripping, the scraping, and or sucking that occurs during the procedure. We also need to take a look at emotional pain. The women often feel a huge sense of guilt after having an abortion. Many doctors tend to stray away from the emotional side of the abortions. When an emotion is something that needs to be discussed with every woman. The Christian Apologetic and Research Ministry tells us that women may be uninjured physically, but psychologically harmed when the child inside of them is killed. One last quote from the Christian Apologetics Research Ministry says, "Abortion is the ultimate in selfishness. It puts the mother's convenience and desires above life of her own baby. To kill the baby in the womb means to consider oneself more important than anything else." If we look back in the Bible, John 3:16, God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son. He put his Son first before himself. You can see that there are many different things that make abortion the wrong choice. What can a woman do instead of having an abortion? Adoption. In the United States, 500,000 women are looking for children to adopt. The Adoption Institute tells us. Many families are unable to conceive children and want to have that option of having a family. Those families would be willing to pay for doctor's visits, medicine, support groups, and any other need of that woman. The family would be that support system for that female. Adoption does come with some emotional struggle, but it is not as big of a struggle as the emotional guilt a woman would feel after an abortion. One other item a woman could do is see a counselor. The counselor can help set up jobs, set up adoptions, set up support groups, and can set up meetings with other families who are looking at adoption. The woman can also keep the baby. This is not something the woman necessarily expected, but the bond between mother and baby is unbreakable. As you can see, abortion is a scary decision that no female should ever have to decide to do. I've told you about the items that make abortion the wrong choice and what else there is to do besides having an abortion. A woman can see a counselor to help with finances and emotional support, and can help set up adoption if the mother decides to go that route. Abortion is wrong in many ways. The moment the fetus is conceived, it is alive. It has DNA. The heartbeat begins at 21 days old. I'm going to leave you with one last remark. You often hear the phrase, violence is not the answer. But in this case, abortion is not the answer. Adoption is. Thank you. My audience is my dad, Rich, my mom, Jane, my sister, Natalie, my neighbors, Annette and Ryan and Peyton. Thank you.